GCES 101.1 FM, AM 1160, and WCCSradio.com. Good morning. It's a gorgeous Monday morning, and we're glad that you're joining us here today. Information presented on this program is believed to be factual and up to date, but we do not guarantee its accuracy, and it should not be regarded as a complete analysis of the subjects discussed. Discussions and answers to questions do not involve the rendering of personalized investment advice, but are limited to the dissemination of general information. A professional advisor should be consulted before implementing any of the options presented. Encompass More Asset Management is registered as an investment advisor with the SEC and only transacts business in states where it is properly registered or is excluded or exempted from registration requirements. Registration with the SEC does not imply a certain level of skill or training. Hey, the boys are here.
GCES.
Clinton Smith, Galen, Bargerstock joining us this morning as we talk your investment future here on Indiana in the Morning. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning, Todd.
It's good to have you both with us here today. Let's talk. This is an uncomfortable subject for a lot of people because they're frightened. Economy is what the economy is, and it's undergone massive changes over the last 4 or 5 years, and so it's a very, very unstable place to be right now if you're in the marketplace, and if you've been doing this yourself, just speculating on your own, it's even scarier probably.
Yeah.
So let's talk about investment for retirement and building for retirement when you have such a volatile marketplace that is out there. Clinton, this is, as I said, a scary time for investors, isn't it?
I'm sure there are people probably listening right now that have lost money with the stock market crashing. You know, everyone can raise their hand privately in their own car, wherever you're at. A lot of people have lost money with the stock market crashing. And there's some things you can do to help make that a little bit easier, but there's also things that you shouldn't do that can really affect the outcome, like locking in the losses. And that's really what Galen talks to a lot of people about, is what to do when that happens to you.
Galen, panicking is probably not at the top of your list, right?
Well, I try not to panic, yeah. But in general, some of the stuff that I see is people have an automatic, it's human nature to want to protect what you have. And it all works into time horizon. So if a person, has 10 years left to go, it's not as big of a concern the market dips as somebody that is a year or two out from retirement. Mm-hmm. But the one thing that you do not want to do is lock in that loss. So if, just say like last week was a really bad week. Let's say that you took that loss and now you're like, nope, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to put it all in cash, put it all in bonds. And all you're going to do really is lock in that loss, because if the market dips down and you put it in the safer funds, whenever the market comes back up, you're not going to ride that wave back up with it. Uh-huh. So you don't have the potential of the gains of the dips in the market.
Your recovery is going to be delayed or even halted.
Yes.
Because you did that, and you thought you were being safer when you were taking more of a risk.
In a way, I mean, you're just establishing the loss more so if you're putting it into, the safer funds. Mm-hmm. Ride it out, let the tidal wave come back up, and then maybe think about putting it in safe. Or, especially if you're over 59 and a half and you can take control of your retirement plan at work, you should take control of that. Mm-hmm. Because if you're putting yourself into products that would help protect you from market, that's a couple years out from retirement if you're 59 and a half. So you're taking the right steps whenever you can control what you do with the money.
Yeah, I want to get into that with you in a couple
Also, another thing to think of, too, is when you get closer to retirement, you shouldn't be in those super risky funds. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Everyone knows the higher risk, the higher the chance of return. So a lot of people will do that. And, Western Pennsylvania, Ohio, a lot of people are very conservative. We work with people in Massachusetts that play the market throughout their entire career, and they're retiring with $100,000, $200,000 more than what people in Pennsylvania and Ohio are. People in Pennsylvania and Ohio are a lot more conservative. They don't do those risky funds throughout their career. But if you are in those risky funds and you lose money and you say, okay, I'm going to put it into something really safe right now, mm-hmm. you're locking in all of those losses that you just lost. Mm-hmm. You're not going to get it back once you go into the safe money account or the safe money funds. So keeping it in there a little bit longer, like he said, if you're 10 years away from retirement, that's going to go back up. And whenever it grows, it's going to go and grow past where it was before, hopefully.
You have potential to earn as well for a longer period of time than those folks who are getting near the finish line.
Yeah. If you're close to the finish line, you can do it. You can still be in those risky funds, but I would maybe put a smaller percentage of it in those risky funds, like maybe 10 or 15% of your retirement funds rather than everything. That way you only have a chance to lose a lot on that 10 and 15%. And that's really why we say that you should meet with us as soon as possible. You know, the longer we have to prepare, the better the outcome is going to be.
All right, Clinton. Galen, you said 59 and a half. That's a magic number, isn't it?
That's my magic number. Yeah. It's
everybody's. Why?
It should be everybody's favorite birthday. It's when the IRS allows you to take control of your own money. So usually most employer plans, the government plan, 59 and a half is when you are allowed to start doing whatever you want with your IRA.
That's IRS law.
That's IRS law. Yeah. Most employers will allow it. There are a handful of employers that make you wait till they retire, or maybe just put the money that you put in, you can pull out, but not the matching money. So there is a little bit of leeway in that, but most cases 59 and a half.
All right. So people knowing that, they say, wait, I'm approaching 59 and a half. I should be doing something here. I'm just not sure what. What should I be doing right now if I'm approaching that line?
Well, that's where it gets into. It's different for every situation.
Calling Galen.
Yeah, easy answer.
I mean, really, at the end of the day, you have to take a risk tolerance, see where you should be at in the market based on your total risk. You know, couple avenues of approach. One, since we're talking about marketing uncertainty, I would say a variable annuity. So some variable annuities, you know, one of the most popular ones right now will have a 10% buffer. A 10% buffer means that if the market's negative 10, you're not going to lose anything. If the market's 12% negative, you're going to lose 2%. You do trade off some of the upswing, so you are going to get capped around, you know, most companies 17, 18%, but you do have that buffer. And if the market's negative 5, well, you're still going to get a 5% return. And that's on a variable where it can fluctuate the market. My favorite and, you know, one of the most popular right now is a fixed indexed IRA. Fixed meaning absolutely no loss period, no matter what the market does, and you just ride the index. That a little bit more safer than a variable annuity for sure, but that's an annuity portion where the insurance company is ensuring that you don't take the loss. It's not saying that the market isn't going to lose. It's saying that the company is not going to let you lose.
Yeah. All right. So, and I was just half joking when I said, well, that's when you call GCES.
Yeah. No, it's honestly, it's the same thing. People don't understand. Like, there's so many things that Galen has in his pocket that we are able to use because we're independent. We're able to search multiple companies and really find the best thing for each family or each individual that really fits their needs. You know, and some people might not even know what they want or what they need until they sit down with Galen. Galen can start going through their stuff with them and figuring out, you know, if they have a hole in their retirement that they need to fill with something, where do we get that from and how do we make that work?
Well, GCES is obviously you guys been doing this for a lot of years, and bringing it into the market where you're now not just serving government employees to where you're actually reaching out into the community and asking, you know, general public, hello, general public, come on in and visit us. We haven't talked about this yet, but that has to be a pretty exciting thing for you.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been, we were very lucky. We were in the right place at the right time to get started with federal employees. We had a great mentor, and, you know, it's taken us years and years to build the business. But we eventually realized, Galen sitting down with families, we never just do the federal employee because that doesn't help out the family as a whole because they're going to retire together. Their finances are shared. So we've been working with families for years and years that we were finally like, well, we should open up and work with everyone. Because literally Indiana, less than 1% of our business comes from Indiana.
Yeah. Well, maybe we can change that a little bit.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Add to that percentage a little bit. Galen, for folks who walk into the office door or sit down with you across the table, they need to know that they're talking to somebody who has an insight that they don't have. And that's not a bad thing at all. That's actually a very good thing, isn't it?
I think so. I mean, I've met with quite a few people, just from doing this show alone, and from what I'm gathering, people are pretty responsible around here. Everybody's bringing in the proper paperwork for me to take a look. It's a highly educated area in finance, I think. So people are asking me questions that are questions that I'm not saying I haven't been asked before, but I appreciate the conversation because everybody's prepared.
Yeah, well, and I don't know that you anticipated that they would have that kind of preparation behind them, that they would be like that. But that challenge that they present to you has to be pretty exciting from your standpoint, too.
It is, and I think I've opened up a couple people's eyes of what could be possible, a couple things that they didn't know that they could do, and now are kind of excited to pursue that in the future.
Yeah.
So it's good conversations.
Yeah. So everybody has a natural fear factor when it comes to the money that they've been saving for retirement. Is it going to last as long as I last?
Yes.
Is the big question for so many. Should I be changing the way? Should I be looking at the different subscriptions that I have and saying, do I really need this? Is my DirecTV package too expensive? Are all of these different things that I've been doing with an eye toward at one time I'm not going to be able to make the money that I'm making now? That's where you guys can help people to figure those things out.
Best case scenario, whenever we sit down with people, there's a lot of times that we actually sit down with people and they are going to be making more money to retire than they're making working right now. So that it doesn't happen all the time, but if you've prepared correctly, especially federal employees that have 40 years of service, 38 years of service, they're able to retire and make almost what they're making now. So best scenario, that's what we can help you out with. Worst case scenario is you're going to make less money, but we have to tell you that. We're not going to be able to make up numbers for you.
Well, you want to put them in the best position that they can be in.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
It's not just all about retirement. I mean, last Friday, for instance, I was able to look at what the family was doing and save them about $350 a month just from deductions that they didn't understand what they were actually doing with things they didn't need. So it's not just all about retirement. I can also readjust and put some money back in the household currently, for today.
That's a pretty good deal. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Pretty good deal. All right, Clinton, so what should folks be doing right now if they want to get involved with GCES and start this ball rolling?
Pull your car over and write this number down. It's 724-915-0000. You can call in and talk to Tina or Lorraine. Both of them can answer questions about what you would need for an appointment, and just schedule an appointment to come in and sit down with Galen.
GCES. Thank you, gentlemen. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It is the voice of Indiana County. It's WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, and WCCSradio.com.